Here in this particular video, we're going to be reading over the shooting tips for both SLR, digital, or, well, talking about digital cameras, digital SLR, single lens reflex, and point and shoot cameras. And some of these may sound basic if you've already been taking pictures on a digital camera or a regular camera, but keep in mind that these are some pretty basic tips that you would hand to someone who isn't used to digital photography or photography in general. Number one, focus and then shoot. How many functions does the picture taker button have? 1, taking a photo. 2, focus activating. And 3, entering and selecting. Share that with your friends. So before jamming on the button, press the button halfway down on the camera. It'll take a second to show you if it's in focus. And then most cameras will even show you where it's focusing in on. And then press the button all the way down. So remember, point halfway, then all the way. That's the way it works. Number 2, learn to set your white balance. White balancing helps your camera capture true life colors or capture creative colors. It must be set manually in every location that has more than one light source, like shooting in a house with the lights in the room and the sunlight from a window. Manual white balance is a must when shooting without a flash. YouTube the camera white balance to get a better understanding of how your camera sees the world. After taking pictures with manual white balance, don't forget to set your white balance to auto. Some people forget they're in manual, so a day later they take a few pictures and then realize that something didn't look right. Also, if you will ever have to pull the camera out to take a quick shot, it'll already be in auto, and then you won't have to waste time switching and missing the shot. Learn to set your light meter position. Ever taken a picture and it was too bright or too dark? By default, the camera is set to multimeter mode, so if taking a picture of a person wearing lots of white or standing by something bright, the picture will turn out dark. Or, if a person wearing lots of black or standing in a dark area, the face may be too bright. Most cameras can switch to a center point meter. When switched to center point, point the center mark at the person's face, press the button halfway, the camera will set the brightness and focus, and then move the camera into a position you want the person to be in the picture. Don't make the mistake of pointing the center point to a person's face and taking the pictures. Those photos look bad. But remember, when you press the button halfway down, the camera locks all the settings so you can move the frame around. And again, this is talking about light metering, switching to center point mode. Lock your ISO. ISO is the camera's sensitivity. This is a process that takes place after the picture is taken, digitally brightening some of the pixels, So the higher the number, the sensitivity, the worse quality you may or will possibly get. Although you can get a brighter picture with a higher sensitivity, a higher ISO, the picture will come out grainy and noisy. So by locking the ISO lower, the camera will have to use other options to get the picture brighter. Experiment with it and learn more about ISO. It'll really help you out. So again, the lower the ISO, the more steady you're going to have to hold your camera, but then because it's got to let in more light in order to take the picture, but the image will come out less grainy, less what they call noisy. Use force flash outside. This is a big one. Some cameras fire the flash no matter what, and others only get it when it's darker. I don't think there's a camera that does not have a force flash setting, usually represented by a lightning symbol without an A by it. Force flash helps you get rid of dark faces or shadows in a beautiful daylight. It's called fill flash. Play around with it, and sometimes you need it, and sometimes you don't, but knowing that can improve your photos. If the background is brighter than your subjects, use a flash, even in broad daylight.